Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spirit Wisdom Wednesday. So today is a little bit different. You might have seen that Spirit wanted to talk about loss. We've already gone ahead and opened sacred space for a fire ceremony because the energy of loss is getting heavier and heavier at the moment, is what Spirit is saying, and they would love to do something to help us release the energy of loss and grief. And that can come in many, many different forms. If you've never done a fire ceremony before, don't worry about it. I will walk you through step by step. If you are joining me in post and watching the recording of this, feel free to grab your own little candle at home and either like a toothpick or a match, something that you can safely and easily burn. But if you're joining me here live and this is really resonating for you, they're saying don't worry about it. I will do it for you. Just walk through the breath with Meredith. They're already talking through me, and we will take care of it for you. So just a couple things to go over. Spirit wants to honor you here with the energy of loss and releasing that heaviness. We will do readings afterwards, but this is the most important thing right now, is what they're saying, is this fire ceremony. So I will invite you to do a little bit of a breathing exercise, tap into the heart space as we always do, and then we'll go over 3 different releases, 3 different types of losses. Of course, losses can be perceived in infinite different ways, but these are the top 3 are what we're going to go over. And they're saying it's totally valid if you need to go through all 3 of these ceremonies. That's absolutely fine. And another thing that they want me to talk about before we drop into the ceremony is that, the brain needs ceremony to process and release things, to even process that time has passed. The ceremony of, even setting back your clock, if you did that, they're saying that's kind of like a modern ceremony. Or the example I always use is blowing out a candle on a birthday cake. Like, okay, I'm officially older. So this is a very ancient method that people have used around a fire, specifically shamans and Peruvian shamanism, to release and give back to the earth. So let's go ahead and tap into our heart space. I will invite you to just gently, lovingly place your hands over your heart center. And let's just take a couple deep breaths in with each other here. Holding this sacred space for you, for all of us to join. Acknowledging that sometimes grief and loss is so visceral that there isn't anything to say, Sometimes just spending quality time with each other and honoring the light within you is more than saying, I'm sorry for your loss, is what they're saying. Okay, so let's drop into that feeling. Okay, let's inhale in. Hold it for a couple beats at the top and exhale out. One more time, inhale in. Holding at the top for a couple beats and exhaling out. Okay, thank you for joining me. If you have given me permission to connect to your energy, or if you've stepped into this healing space, of course we do this only ethically. So if you're just curious and watching, know that nothing is going to be done to you that you're not consenting. So if you're here, I welcome you, I honor you, and I can feel somebody's guides here already holding this sacred recognition and time for you. So the first thing we're gonna do is light some holy wood. And I'm just gonna use that to provide a clean slate just so that the gunk from the day isn't here, you know. We're releasing some bigger things through this ceremony. Okay. We'll just cleanse the area now that you're here. All right. And then as an official invitation, I will ring these tingshas for you. That was crisp and crystal clear. To me, that means Spirit is like, yes, we are doing the right stuff. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go ahead and prepare the match as a burning offering. And the first ceremony that Spirit wants to walk us through is the loss of a loved one. The way that they're saying it's usually presented is if someone has died. That's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, we're separated from someone for many different reasons. Distance, situations, complications. They're saying even addiction. That could be something that someone's dealing with. I know I've dealt with that personally, losing people to addictions even when they were still present on the earthly plane. So what we'll do is I will hold this here for you. And I'd love for you to, this seems a little counterintuitive, but stick with me. This is what shamanic healing is all about. I'd love for you to drop into the feelings of grief, something you've been carrying around that you'd love to release. Spirit's here to help you do that. So just allow yourself to feel it even for a few seconds. I'm right here with you, and so is Spirit. We want to concentrate that energy into this object that we will then burn as an offering. Okay, and now we're going to blow the intention to release that grief, the loss of a loved one, into this object. And now we burn it. I just want to take a moment to recognize those loved ones who are here present, supporting the people watching who are releasing this pain. Know that you are loved and so honored, dearly missed. Okay, I will let this burn out in the bowl here safely. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the second type of loss that Spirit would like to help us release. This one's interesting, it's a little different. They're saying it's loss of self. So this could happen if you are interacting with any kind of toxic energy in your life. This could even be like a toxic job. If you feel like you are not allowed to be yourself, if you've ever turned inward and rejected part of yourself, part of who you inherently are, this would be considered loss of self. Any type of abuse you've ever endured, anything like that. Spirit is wanting us to mourn and honor those aspects of ourself to complete this ceremony in order to call it all back, which is big and bright and beautiful. So I know this one's a little more abstract, but if you can think of a time, an example of when you felt like you were losing yourself, the example they keep talking about is a relationship, like a relationship that's not working, or any type of situation where you're feeling like martyrdom. That would be another example of loss of self. We just want to drop into that feeling and honor that. Because in order to release, we have to experience, right? We have to acknowledge. And then we just want to affirm, I recall all my power back to me. I am whole. I am worthy. I am not defined by these experiences. We want to blow those intentions into this second offering. Felt like there was a little more there. And then we watch it transmute. Honoring and welcoming this light of ourselves that's coming back, that's being recalled back to the soul, back to the body, your physical vessel for this lifetime. And we'll let that burn out. And part of that is not having to live out the stories you've been told, stories you feel like you've inherited. Those aren't you. Your experiences are not your identity. And that's something that I feel like the earthly plane can be really tricky, like navigating that. So that is something that Spirit wanted to acknowledge as the energy starts to lighten. I hope you can feel that. It's starting to lighten, which is really exciting. Okay, and then the last type of loss that they would like to acknowledge is the loss of joy, which, could be caused by the other types of losses, or can go hand in hand in tandem with any of these. Loss of self, loss of a loved one. Sometimes we can feel like the joy has just been sucked out of us. Or perhaps we haven't given ourselves permission to feel really joyful or really celebrate everyday normal activities. So let's drop into that. This is the last one, so let's really get into it. Just acknowledging that you are safe here. You are honored and recognized for your sacred light. You deserve to feel and experience joy. To experience your own light. It's not just for you or for others, it's for you as well. And they're talking about, I think there's a lot of light workers here, or a lot of really powerful energy workers. And so you could get caught up in helping others, helping illuminate the way for other people. You can illuminate from within, you can illuminate your own body and heal yourself as well. That feels really warm and fuzzy, like a golden light coming from the heart space. So let's tap into that and breathe that into life. Affirming, I deserve to experience joy and my own light. And feeling that luminous body just light up with that sacred recognition. Beautiful. So let's blow those beautiful intentions to wrap it up into this last offering. All right. And then we watch it transmute again. Ooh, I'm getting some ringing in my ears. There's somebody here that's pretty excited. Just inviting that light, that fire energy to amplify and feed your own light as well. All right, and so it is. The fire ceremony is done. What Spirit is inviting you to do, if you would like to carry on this energy of release, of healing from loss, which seems to be a huge tidal wave right now. I wonder if it does have to do something with Scorpio season, because that's usually a really transformative time. But right now particularly, it feels like there's a lot of loss, a lot of transformation in many different ways, not only just grieving a person who's passed on, but loss of self, loss of light, even loss of like purpose and things like that. So if you'd like to continue this energy, if you could just light a candle tonight with your hands over your heart. And this is so sweet. I thought they were going to give me something to channel, like some big affirmation you can say. Just thank you. Just thank you is enough. All right, so I want to thank my spirit guides and yours for being part of this healing ceremony. Thank you for being here. They want me to just light this Palo Santo one more time for you. So we will do that. And I know this was a little different, so let me know in the comments how you felt about this. I know usually like the first 5 to 10 minutes I talk about something that Spirit wants to go over for the week, but this time, you know, I knew it was loss, and I was saying, okay, what are we going to talk about? And they were like, no, we need to just do something. We don't just need to talk about it. It's that intense. So thank you for being here with me and honoring me as I honor you. Let me go ahead and check in with you before I continue on to our week ahead readings. I have the Kitty Tarot to kind of lighten the mood, since we are focusing on bringing in joy at the very end there, but we do have some transformative guidance cards. And it looks like Dawn is here. Welcome. Thank you so much for showing up. I always love to see you here. Okay. So just one more time, we're just going to tap into that heart space quickly. It feels lighter in here. I hope you're feeling lighter already as well. We're just going to invite our spirit guides to come near us now and ask which group holds our message for the week ahead. Just remaining open to how that message may come through. You may even get a color. I'm hearing. You may see a color ahead of time. You may hear, see, feel, or know that it's 1, 2, or 3. Or you may feel drawn to one of the objects that I am going to show you. So let me see if I can turn this on. The first orb we have is a moon. It's a little light up moon. I hope you can see the details there. That's group number 1. Group number 2 has this, I believe this is Caribbean calcite, a sphere. It's really beautiful aqua color. And then group number 3, you have a blue onyx sphere. This beautiful wish line detail down the middle. Okay, so we should have our groups selected. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so with group number 1, if you chose the moon, let's go ahead and get your tarot. I think I already said, yeah, that we are using the Kitty Tarot to kind of lighten the mood a little bit and nestle into that joyous energy. Something already happened. Or maybe it didn't. Huh, interesting. Maybe for group number 1, you might be dealing with a false start of some sort. Maybe you thought a situation was a certain way and it turned out to be a misunderstanding. Picking up on that already. Okay, so let's get into it. So first we have the 6 of Wands. And then we have the Star. And then the 3 of Cups. All right. So with the Star, they're talking about some kind of hope after a difficult experience. So this could have to do with a loss, like literally you could be grieving for someone, or just surrounded by, I'm hearing the word adversity. You might just feel like things are really heavy and slow. And it feels like there's this unknown element, like when is this going to happen? When am I actually going to take the next step for my life purpose? There's this, it feels like you're tapping into this deep inner knowing and you keep getting the answer like not right now or something like that, or very soon. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing that, when is it? So if that's resonating, I feel for you, because I'm a fire sign. I would be very frustrated by that as well. Oh, you may have Aquarius in your top or your big 3. The Star is the Aquarius card. Or since you picked the moon, you may also have Cancer in your big three, I'm hearing. In the past with this Six of Wands, it looks like there's some, let's see. So interesting. These are the two cards on the outside, which, you know, are positive cards. The Six of Wands is all about triumph. It's about success. It's about others recognizing you for your talents, for your efforts, for your passions. And then the Three of Cups is about celebrating with your friends, sharing with your friends, having fun, going out, having a good time. But here you are in the middle. You're like in deep contemplation. So that's really interesting. So you might be feeling like no one quite understands exactly what's going on behind closed doors because things objectively look very positive from the outside. So you might be feeling disconnected. You might be having to spend an unexpected amount of time by yourself that you might be trying to adjust to. And it feels like there's some emotional stuff that's coming up that might be a little either unexpected or tricky for you to deal with. So let's get some guidance cards for you. We're using the Mystical Shaman Oracle, which I don't know if I've ever used that one. This is a new one here. Right. And the person who created this deck also teaches the same type of Peruvian shamanism that I'm trained in. So should be beautiful messages coming out here. All right. And I feel like there's two for you. Okay, so we have the Child. Look at this moon energy in here. Okay, talking about the unknown, talking about phases, cycles, and then also the Arrow. Okay. So it feels like, This is really specific. It may not resonate for every single person watching group number one, but it feels like you may have been making efforts to connect with your inner child recently, and you might have tried some different activities that once worked for you, if that makes sense. But you might realize on the outside, it looks like I'm having fun, but really, I don't know if it feels so good for me anymore. So it feels like you're being reintroduced to your inner child, maybe a different aspect of your inner child, a deeper, more emotional aspect rather than like a playful element. That's what I'm picking up on here. So I hope that resonates. And with the Arrow, I'm hearing shoot your shot. So it feels like you are gathering energy, like storing energy, and you're like getting ready to do something pretty significant. And it could directly tie to the inner child. So maybe like a childhood dream you've always had. And Spirit is, so this is really interesting. So if you're going after something that you've always wanted to do, even as a child, Spirit's saying you're in the right realm, but remain open to different ways in which you can interact with that dream. I hope that makes sense. I know that's a little convoluted, so let me ask for an example. Okay, so if as a child you really wanted to perform, or you really wanted to sing, you just loved that, nothing lit you up as much as that, maybe now you might not exactly be the performer as the child version of you envisioned, but you might be like an artistic director or something like that. You might be a designer. You might work on the set of something, or I see you kind of brainstorming with other people. So you might be like on a board of writers or something like that. And Spirit's saying, you know, don't underestimate how much that might light you up, because it seems like there is some kind of reimagining the original dream. And they're saying that is going to light you up in a way that the child you would have never even been able to fathom. So that's a really beautiful confirmation for you, group number one. Let me get one more piece of guidance for you. since this seems like a kind of a pretty big deal. And then we have another shamanic oracle deck here. This is called Shamanic Medicine. And if that's you, group number one, I really, really relate to that, actually. I feel like, well, you know, I'm a fire sign, I'm Sagittarius, so I really do shoot the shot, you know. We shoot the shot and we go after it. And I feel like a lot of times I've gotten there, like at grad school or whatever, and I'm like, oh, this isn't exactly what I wanted. And it's like a weird feeling. And it's like, did I get it wrong? And Spirit's like, no, you didn't get it wrong. You just weren't an expert to begin with, so how could you have possibly known what would best suit you? They're like, leave that to us. We're collaborating with you. They're like, it's a collaborative effort. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about dreams, girl. Look at you, you're the dream weaver. This is someone who dreams the world into being. This is so sacred. So especially with this and the star, there's this reimagining of your dream. I'm hearing dream up a good life. It's like maybe you've entered the industry you were always interested in, and now you have more tools, more resources. Maybe you've even networked with a few people, and Spirit's saying now's the time to take an exciting new step. So if you're not already aware of this, they're like excited. They're like, you're really gonna love this. It's really gonna be a big surprise. So I feel like there's going to be some divine intervention on your behalf. Just know that if you do get divine inspiration to take aligned action, do it. Do it. This next week especially is a great time to do it. Okay, so wow, what an exciting start. So those were your messages if you chose the moon with group number one. I hope that resonated, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for those of you who chose group number two with the Caribbean Calcite, I just love the energy of this. I don't know, it's one of those connections to a crystal that I can't really explain. Although those of you who know me well know that I'm like obsessed with anything that color. Anyway, group number two, you might be feeling super chatty in the week ahead, like time to catch up with some friends. Let's go ahead and get your tarot. Okay, so for group number two, what do they need to know for the week ahead? For the highest good of all, what does group number two need to know for the week ahead? Yeah, I see your throat chakra is like lit up. So there could be something that you either feel like you just can't help but talk about, or you you feel just compelled to communicate about something. Okay, just one more card for group number two, Spirit. Thank you. All right, we have the 5 of Cups. I hope you can see that. Okay. And then we have the 10 of Wands. And then the Page of Swords. That's one of my favorite cards. I love the artwork. Page of Swords, okay. So this would be the communicative aspect. Look, even the wallpaper kind of matches your crystal. So this would be someone who is really, really talkative, full of ideas. This is in the future position of your initial spread here. So I would say towards the end of the week ahead, you're like full of ideas, really wanting to talk about things. But it looks like you had some challenges that you're moving past. So let me see what's going on here. With the 10 of Wands, for me, there's always this invitation to lighten your load. So this is usually some kind of burden that you felt the need to take on with work. Maybe somebody here doesn't love to ask for help, might want to try to do things all on your own. And it's getting to the point where, you know, you've done the thing, you've been fairly successful. It's pretty impressive. But you're like breaking your back to do it. You know what I mean? And you're like so tired that you're kind of on guard because of how much energy you've had to expend to do this. So Spirit's like, we see all your hard work. We're very proud of you. However, we would love it if you would ask for some help next time. If not from coworkers or family members around you, even just your spirit guides can help you out in some surprising ways. Let's see here. With the Five of Cups, I'm just going to make sure that's the Five of Cups. Hold on just a second here. These, if you're a reader, I'm sure you can relate to this. Sometimes when cards have like different suits than what they originally, like look at this. I just have to know that that's Wands. It can be like a little tricky. Okay, that is definitely Cups because I saw kitty food. So sometimes that means Pentacles in this deck. So with the Five of Cups, this is the grief card. So what a perfect time to get that card when we've just released loss. So if you weren't able to see the beginning of the video when we did the healing ceremony, Spirit is reminding you to go on back there and join that because it seems like they really want to help you with that. Also, the month of May could be significant to you. That could be a loved one's birthday, or it could have even been the month in which you lost something or someone that was significant to you. I see. Okay. So it looks like that loss has translated into, I need to do things on my own. I need to shoulder this burden on my own. And I don't want to receive any help and I don't want to ask for any help. Which again, worked out this time, but there is this kind of like, you know, I think there's an ancestor here who really loves you that you might relate to. And they're like, you're doing great, sweetie, but we would love to not see you suffer unnecessarily. So I hope that is resonating for you or making sense. Let's go ahead and get some guidance on that, on how you can better lighten your load and welcome in some assistance. You're really like a powerhouse. It would not be surprising to people around you that you were able to get like 5 other people's work done all by yourself. But that doesn't mean they should expect that from you. That's not healthy. Okay, so you got the owl. All right. Ooh, and the sorcerer. I hope you can see those. Okay. So the owl and the sorcerer. Feathers are a really significant energy that I'm seeing here. You might be visited by a lot of kind of like spirit animals, maybe particularly birds in the next week. Or you may even find feathers or see feathers in some kind of way. So there's some kind of upgrade that's going on with the third eye and the inner guide. It feels like you might have a tendency or you might feel more comfortable in the throat chakra. So you might be very expressive. You might feel at home talking with people, writing, creating art, something that's very external. And with the owl here, they're inviting you to turn inward. And there is going to be an invitation to highlight the third eye. I feel like maybe your spirit guides are already working with you on that. So just know that if you're experiencing any kind of like little headaches or maybe like some ringing in the ears in the next week, if that's not typical for you, and you know, of course it doesn't cause like major discomfort, of course not medical advice, consult your doctor if you feel like you need to, but Spirit's saying, you know, that can be side effects of us working on you spiritually. With the sorcerer, there is this invitation again with vision. Vision is becoming really significant. Interesting. So instead of the mouth, they're pointing to the eyes and they're saying, we really need to clarify where you're going. So they're saying, let's examine what just happened, how you had to shoulder all that work. Are you okay with that? Or do you want to re-envision what's next? And you see how much intensity there is being directed onto the third eye of your owl here, which is really significant. Okay, so let's get the final guidance here for group number 2. How to best lighten their load in the week ahead. What do they need to know for the highest good of all? I feel like you might be saying, I keep hearing about these upgrades, but I'm not getting them, which is really funny. So maybe multiple people have told you, oh, you're getting upgrades or your spirit guides are working on you, but you're like, I don't notice anything different. That's so funny. Just know that if you're not feeling it physically yet, it's still there. It's still there. So that might just be validation that someone has picked the right group. Okay. And you have birth, renewal. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Coming after a 10. A 10 is the end of a cycle. So it's like, yes, the cycle is ending. You're going to experience this periodic relief from putting down all of your wands. The original artwork on this card, on like traditional tarot, there's a person carrying 10 wands and bending way over to signify burden, like taking on burden. So now that that's ending, you're going to get to put them down and you're going to have so much relief. But Spirit's saying, as everything ends, you know, there needs to be a new beginning. So what do we want to do this time? They really want to focus on freedom. Here's your bird again. Oh my gosh. Okay. So feather, bird, bird. Girl, you got birds coming up to you like a lot. So that's a big confirmation for you here for group number 2. And I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about here, but they're saying it doesn't matter what comes first. That could be really significant for you. They're saying if that's for you, you will know. It doesn't matter what comes first, so you might be really like fixated on a certain order. I can't take this step unless this step is done. They're like, not necessarily, the order isn't that important. We are here with you. Just let us know what seeds you want to plant. Let us know how you would rather change the process in the future because we want to help you. I feel like you're a really hard worker, so you might have some earth sign energy going on with you. And again, your spirit team is really proud of you, and people around you are really amazed by like the grit that you have to get all of this work done. You feel really determined, but Spirit's like, that doesn't mean that you should have to deplete yourself every time you have to do this. So they really want to step in and help you this week. So those were your messages for group number 2 if you chose the Caribbean Calcite. I hope that resonated for you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for group number 3, if you chose the blue Onyx sphere with the wish line, let's go ahead and get your week ahead message. Okay, again, as usual, we're going to start with the tarot to kind of get an idea of the situation that you'll be dealing with, and then we'll get your guidance. It feels for you like there's something more freeform about this next week. So maybe if you're used to being on a set schedule, it feels like that schedule is not there, at least partially for the week. So you have like some movement, you have some room to move around, you have some flexibility that you maybe don't usually have, which is really great. And look at this. I'm still just going and nothing's coming out. There might be an invitation to open up here. So you might feel kind of shut down or tired. So if that's you and that resonates about the flexibility, you might be getting like some kind of break from work or something. You're like, I need a break. And yeah, I feel that. Okay. So we're going to have your spirit guides make a decision here, and we're going to do a drop cut. Okay. All right, and I'm going to draw them right out for you. Okay. Oh, we have the Lovers. That's such a cute card in this deck. The Moon. Interesting. 2 major arcana right off the bat. And Ace of Cups. Whoa. Big week for you, group number 3. A lot of water energy. You might have Cancer in your chart with the Ace of Cups and the Moon. You might also have some Gemini going on in there as well. You might be dealing with those signs. Okay. Wow, it feels like there is such a rush of energy up in the head. So you might have been feeling like that. If this is you, you might be feeling like it's hard to focus. It might even be hard to sleep. After work or after a long day, you might just want to veg out. So you could be dealing with some elements of the unknown. It looks like something is going to be resolved this week and rebalanced for you, which feels like it's going to be a big relief. Because this would be, I feel like your personality is like, if you don't know what's going on, you might think it into oblivion, if that makes sense. Like, well, if I just think of enough examples and scenarios of what might happen, then I'll definitely be prepared for something, right? And it's like, you might just exhaust yourself doing that. But it looks like with the Lovers, there might be some kind of decision that needs to be made. Okay, so that's what it is. So there's some unknown about a decision that needs to be made. Well, it looks like you're going to be made an offer that's really going to feel good emotionally. So it's almost like Spirit is going to hand you a cup, like they've watched you kind of sit and not know what to do and ruminate. And somehow, some way in the next week, someone's going to offer you a solution that you hadn't even thought of. And you're just like, okay, that sounds great. And so they're saying, if that is clicking for you, you will know in the moment when that offer is being made, and you will know to say yes. Okay, awesome. So we love a yes. We love clear instructions. Let's get some more guidance. Maybe even some more information on what this choice might have to do with. It's interesting. I feel like maybe someone here did want to hear about romantic stuff and may have gotten excited with the Lovers. And while that can mean that, more traditionally, the Lovers means a decision. But we do have the Ace of Cups here. So it could have to do with some kind of love offer. I'll ask for some clarity here, because it does feel like someone's like, oh, I wanted to know. I thought I was getting my answer. Okay, so from the Mystical Shaman Oracle, what does group number 3 need to know for the week ahead with the blue Onyx? Again, these cards are taking a long time to come out for you. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right, we have the Hunter. So you might feel like you've been on the prowl for a partner, only if the romantic part is resonating for you. So you might have felt like you're on the lookout for your partner, and you've been on the lookout for a really long time. That's a really funny message that's coming through. You also have the Blade. Okay. So it feels like there is some experience that you've gone through in the past that has kind of shaped your perception in a certain way. So this could have to do with an experience at work, an experience in the family, or with an interpersonal relationship. An example would be like, I finally opened up to this person in this situation and they bit my head off. So now I am extremely overly cautious about approaching people about things I want to solve with them in the future. Does that make sense? So it feels like I am hanging on to this past experience as a way to protect myself and inform myself about the future, which is super logical. That's super normal, very earthly. We've all done that. You're totally valid. Also, Spirit is saying, let's stop doing that. So we're going to cut a cord here between you and that past experience. And the way you can do that specifically for group number 3, if this is resonating for you, is you can just affirm, I received this message from Meredith's reading. I invite my spirit guides to cut this cord in my sleep tonight. And they will do that just while you're sleeping. You don't have to do anything, and they will help cleanse and neutralize that energy and replace it with pure love and light. I also want to clarify that anytime we cut a cord, it does not affect any type of love consciousness. It doesn't affect any type of high vibrational energy. It's just a shadow element, no longer taking from you. So it's a beautiful thing that you're being invited to do. But how interesting that your guidance cards are very physical, very physical. The hunter is someone who goes out, they this is so weird. Okay, so maybe you have someone in your life, or maybe it's even you, no judgment. Maybe you hunt, or you're dealing with like an ex who used to hunt, and they wear like the outfit, and they put like the urine on them. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. But it's like getting into the nitty gritty of the task is what I'm feeling like the message of the hunter is. It's like you don't hunt casually. You hunt with like lots of energy and lots of passion. And it's not a casual activity. So they're saying like severing this cord, may feel like no big deal. You might know what we're talking about and go, okay, I'll affirm, sure, I'll have them cut the cord tonight. It might surprise you how much it affects you. You also might be feeling connected to the moon's phases. I'm seeing the moon is being brought up so much in all of these, but especially for you, because you got the moon card. So again, here's this, the unknown, phases of the unknown, almost like the phases of, or the steps of grief, and we're cutting right through that because it's being shaped by that negative experience, that negative imprint, which again, that's just your earthly body, that ego element that we all need. It's necessary. You're just trying to keep yourself safe, but Spirit is going to help you be freed from that. Okay, so let's just get your last guidance for group number 3 with the shamanic medicine. All right. That one felt like it kind of went from like 0 to 50, like immediately for group number 3. So you might kind of feel that pop of energy in your week as well. Or maybe after this cord cutting, it might feel like, whoa, I'm suddenly flooded with all this energy and ready to move forward, which is really beautiful. I'm also hearing emotional fulfillment for you, and I love that for you. Okay. Lodge, council. Okay, so this is one of the most straightforward cards in this deck. It is exactly what it sounds like. You're invited to counsel someone. So with this next step, if you do find yourself in the realm of like making a deal, signing a contract, accepting a job, something like that, accepting an offer, and you're feeling like there's they're saying Swiss cheese knowledge. It's like, I kind of know, but there's like a bunch of holes. Like I don't know about the details. They're saying it would be wise to consult someone you trust who's done something similar, or maybe an expert in the field that you're going into, or maybe you're even going to get like a reading or something like that. Spirit is saying that's definitely on par with the energy this week. The flip side of this card, interestingly enough, is sort of like a judgmental aspect of it. So it's like, if someone feels like they are kind of like leaking out, seeping out negative energy, and it feels like judgy, Spirit's like, they don't get it. Try not to take it personally. If you can, try to just send them like love, because that's what that person needs. So just if you get some kind of weird negativity from someone in the next week about your next steps, that's not guidance. If it feels bad, that's not guidance. This would be someone who would be kind of like putting you down. But okay, so this person, if you have an interaction with someone like this and it feels like someone with long hair, it's because they have had their own negative experiences that they've not released. And so they're just repeating that at you. But that doesn't need to be your story. You don't need to inherit that. You can choose who you take advice from. You can choose who you counsel with. You can choose who you trust. And like another group, I can't remember which one, it feels like there's going to be some divine intervention of who that person might be if you find yourself in this position where you would like advice. Spirit is going to help you connect with that person. Okay, so those were your messages. If you chose group number 3 with the blue onyx, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that resonated, and I will see you next time. Okay, so it looks like we have some comments here. Awesome. Okay, Janine says, I'm wondering why you can't see me on here. Oh, if you were commenting and I couldn't see. Sometimes it could, I know like comments with emojis can do weird things sometimes. I don't know. What you can do is just like close out of the video and then reopen it. Sometimes that helps, but Facebook's just kind of janky sometimes, so I'm sorry about that. Dawn says, I love the rituals. Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Heather says, my gut was lit up with 1 and my throat was activated by 3. Beautiful. Yeah, I know that some of those specific chakras were discussed today by the spirit guides. Danny says, group 1, ouch. Oh, yeah, I love you. Yep. Spirit guides were showing up for you, taking care of you. And Lola says, I'm so late. Sorry, I'll replay. Oh, of course. No, everybody arrives at the perfect time. Whether you were supposed to see the reading first and then maybe do the ceremony afterwards, totally fine. But just know the last note about loss, because it does feel like a lot of that is going on. It could even be recalled from previous losses. So you might be remembering someone who has died. So just know that if you are experiencing that, I know a million people have already said sorry to you. So I want to say to you, I love you, and it's okay. And it's okay to feel like shit, and it's okay to miss them. And it's okay to feel like it's not fair, because it's really hard. It is really hard. And I understand, and I honor you here, and I'm getting choked up. So just know that if you ever need someone to talk to, that I am here for you, and I will honor you. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.